Welcome to this Sunday's Gospel Reflection. I will never forget the evening I went to a family whose daughter was deeply, massively disabled. She was almost totally paralyzed. She had impaired vision, unable to speak or express herself, stuck day and night in a wheelchair, needing to be cleaned, fed, but she could smile through a distorted mouth. What impressed me most, however, was the ease, the patience, the serene and constant love with which her parents dealt with her 24 hours a day. I was astounded by their utter selflessness. Graceful, patient, tender, dedication. But what was even more impressive was the fact that what I considered to be a tragic misfortune for this family, it was a simple way of life. What for me was sheer heroism, for them it was simply their everyday way of life. In today's second reading, St. Paul speaks of a thorn in the flesh that he begged the Lord to deliver him from. Like him, we all have a thorn in our flesh. It's not just St. Paul or that young girl of my story. We have to admit that in all of us there is a deep-seated permanent pain, fragility, weakness, which are simply part of who we are. And the fact is that it is permanent and we can never get rid of it, just like that disabled girl and her family. We are all deeply, seriously wounded in one way or another. And like St. Paul, we too turn to the Lord and beg Him to help us get rid of our thorn in the flesh. But the real challenge is not how to get rid of it, but how to accept, how to embrace, how to grow with and through that thorn. The Lord asked Paul to embrace it, and he asks us also to embrace it as part of who we are. We all wish and pray to somehow get rid of and eliminate these wounds and limitations from our lives. But the answer we get for our prayers is the one Paul himself received. My grace is sufficient for you, for power is made perfect in weakness. The reality is that we will never actually get rid of our fundamental limitations that define us and make us who we are. I am who I am because of all that I have and am capable of. But I am also who I am because of all that I do not have, all that I am not capable of. Just as our qualities make us who we are, our limitations also define us for who we are. Both are part and parcel of our very identity. In life, we all know it. There is no such a thing as a one-sided reality. Our greatest, our best qualities have another side to them, and that's our weaknesses. If you are meticulous with details, you end up being an impossibly demanding person for yourself and for others. If you are a spontaneous, jovial, happy-go-lucky person, you end up easily being insensitive and even hurtful to the others. If you are a very serious and responsible person, you can easily become a very demanding and impossible person to live with. There is always a negative side to the good qualities we have. And there is always a positive side, even to our most negative limitations. If you're a happy-go-lucky person, then probably you will be a very available and spontaneous person, taking life as it comes. But you risk being an unreliable, a difficult person to pin down. You get lost in the bigger picture. On the other hand, if you're a meticulous person, fixed on details of whatever you say or you do, you may very well end up never finishing a job properly or in time. You get lost in the details. I will never forget a now deceased dear friend of mine with whom I was studying. On the eve of a very important exam, this friend was a super intelligent guy, ended depressed and discouraged, completely lost, to the point that he refused to sit for the final exam. And when I asked him what's the problem, his answer was that he felt it impossible to write down all the things that he knew about the subject on the exam paper. He simply knew too much. And so he ended up paralyzed by his own exceptional intelligence. No, we are not called to be perfect in all we do or say. At the same time, we must not give up on perfection. No, we are not called to succeed always and in everything, but we must not give up on trying to succeed. God is not a strict examiner who does not tolerate mistakes. God is love, and love is capable of turning our greatest challenges, limitations, even mistakes, into our greatest source of joy and preciousness. The parents of that severely handicapped daughter did not define her preciousness in terms of the things that she could do or accomplish. For them, she was infinitely precious simply because she was their beloved daughter. God looks at each one of us exactly in the same way. In His eyes, we are not precious because of our achievements, our successes. We are precious because we are His dearly beloved children. And our successes may help us feel important, but it is only love that makes us feel precious. How mistaken we are when we see and judge ourselves according to the spirit of the world, which craves for and always aims at what it calls success. Love is never a reward for a task that is accomplished. It can only be a gift freely given and freely received. We are not saved by what we achieve. We are saved by the love that we receive. As St. Paul puts it in today's reading, My grace is enough for you. For power is made perfect in weakness. How deep, how wonderful is the freedom we will experience if we put ourselves and if we put our trust in love rather than in our success. Love can never be earned through our efforts or achievements. Real love is and remains a free gift. God loves a cheerful giver because He Himself is a cheerful giver who makes His sun shine and His rain fall on both the good and the bad simply because they are His children. No, He does not reward people who succeed. He simply rejoices when He sees us become like Him, loving and cheerful givers. God bless you and thank you.